I was on acid all day yesterday. I saw the good, the bad, and the ugly. Colors, lights, patterns, textures, all around us. It took something out of me. It put something in me. And people didn't seem to notice. But they did, kind of. I wasn't completely alone. And the colors were, like always, miraculous. Rainbows everywhere. Really, really cool. I Wu-Tang the acid. I did. It was amazing. Although I felt like I was being cock-blocked a lot, which kind of sucked. Yesterday was the day I was supposed to become a lord of acid, and something I feel like it didn't really, or it did, transpire or become. I had visions of people that didn't like the fact that things were changing attack me and the gods while I was on LSD. It was really sad, but at the same time, I knew that it should have been fun. When you're on LSD, everything kind of pops, everything stands out. It's miraculous, like a Christmas tree. LSD is a lot like Christmas, with lights everywhere. Um, you picture a Christmas tree lit up to its fullest potential. That's what LSD does. It lights your brain up like a Christmas tree. It's a tool in your belt, in your psychedelic belt. You know, there's sometimes when people say like, "Man, you're tripping." Not necessarily. Sometimes yes, but not necessarily. Not in a bad way. Not completely in a bad way. You could use that term, but you'd have to be careful how you use it. To say like if somebody's tripping, it means like they fucked up or they didn't see the picture in full. When all actuality, you can bring about more photon energy light to your Christmas tree if you can find the correlation between what was and what became of a trip. Um, Being a lord of acid means you accept or you completely embalm or not embalm but immole yourself, if that is a word, into the portal which you cross with the psychedelic LSD, I suppose. Um, it's a rite of passage where you strategically do the hallucinogen or the technically it's I don't think LSD is considered a you can or you can't you don't really hallucinate on LSD. You might think that you see something that happened or doesn't happen. When all actuality, the pertinence of its beingness, it's not at that point in time. It's answer. There's an answer, you know, and that's that's essentially what it's about. An answer. Um, can't be stopped. Once you start going, it's like a roller coaster. You just keep going. Um, the cars that would pass by, everything would adjust to your reality to align you precisely on what it is that you're looking at. Um, there is a there's a there's a thought that occurs with LSD and dogma. The birds. The birds are dogma, a set of authorities and principles put upon another in a sense of control and of power. Um, and the drug LSD kind of shines on the potency of what the birds and dogma have going for you. It's worth the experience, worth the trying. My only thought about it is, if you do the psychedelic, it has a correlation with other anomaly, and just know not to get yourself mixed up in things that would ruin that majestic euphoria. LSD. When you smoke weed on LSD, I guess my only thought about it is the potency of its. Well, I didn't smoke weed yesterday. I was just on LSD, and I did 4 hits. I Wu-Tanged it. And I didn't smoke weed on it at all. But I thought about it. I thought it would be crossing the line, like too much. But I witnessed so many different things, and so many people came into my life, and helped me align on what it is that I wanted with the trip. But at the same time, since we're one consciousness, you have to be assertive as to what dogma and a set of authorities differentiate between, if you know what I mean. If there was light that would shine from the sun on LSD, you'd know that the difference between collagen, halogen, and photon isn't too terribly different. One gives light to the archangels, the codons in your body, and others are there to either guide you or to kind of thwart your journey. So you have to be careful what you do with the mentality of light and the light in the darkness as a shadow of light. It could be just me, but when you're with your friends or when you're with people around you who you want to meet, know that you're also channeling people that are incarcerated and that are still confined to a prison system in the U.S. And you have the authorities like the police that are also involved. And my thought is, what turns a girl on can be technically pretty intense, which is why I believe that cops are there, because you can do a certain amount of things to enhance yourself, like LSD, like turning the lights on in the attic. But what turns a girl on and what turns you on may have some kind of barrier that you can either hop over, but you can't move, because the barrier's supposed to be there in order to keep her satisfied with who she is. If you were to move the barrier, then the cops would get involved, because it could be considered like obstruction of justice, and that turns the girl on, but at the same time, it limits it. It creates an obstacle for you to have to get over in order for you to even be permitted into her audience. So it's a ratio of what it would mean to be in her presence more without being too terribly worried that you pushed a boundary, or if you just hopped the boundary and left it alone. So a systematic of government wouldn't get involved. So the girl stays turned on. You stay turned on. You're on LSD, and you can wittily announce yourself as Lord of Acid, which I'm about to become. I believe that the attractive attributes of the psychedelic LSD come from the one that's on it. I feel like there's a lot of allegations that go with the thought of being on LSD, acid. I believe that it can be misinterpreted, and if somebody questions what you're on and you simply state that you are or not on something, and there's no response, or the response is questionable, I believe that the only thing that you can really allude to or conclude is that selflessly, you're in their presence, and it's either A, entertaining, or B, a turnoff. And you can't really. There's no other thought there. I mean, we're still thinking. We're still mentally stabilized, stable. We're still mental stable boys. And yeah, from this, or from which has been stated, the evidence and the pertinence, I guess, the modality, the loyalty with the growth of our consciousness and our emotion. Not emotion, you don't play on emotions, but our emotive where you'll find that the people that come into your life after you partake um, either come from a part of systematic pressure of government or a new world, another dimension. Um, People that obsess with power and feel as if one could be stopped in the name of justice or corrupt politics. Um, that comes from a sense of a lack of control, and I feel as if the people that feel they're in a lack of control also created the virus to control populace, which is a complete pain in the fucking ass for the people that just want to have a good time or want to get their work done, want to be successful, and because it brings about it's it's medieval. It's a little medieval. It's like pushing our barriers. It's like pushing barriers and expecting the people to not notice it. The people of mask of I guess reality. Um, the difference between an illusion and reality is just what that is. Um, you don't question it because reality is almost it's like inevitability, and an illusion is the erasing of doubt. So it's gone, and what you have left is phalange, um, and options, an option or and option to move forward. So a little bit about that, and I'm gonna finish this out, and then maybe make another video or write about it. So.